All right, everyone, get ready, because today we are doing a deep dive into the world of Betty Christie.
Betty Christie, awesome.
You know, I was so curious about her after you sent me all this info on her articles, social media, and wow, this woman is fascinating.
She's really interesting.
I mean, 542,285 Instagram followers.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Over 1 million on TikTok. And she's doing it all from Cameroon, so we're going to find out. Is she just a pretty face, or is there something more to her success?
Well, I think one of the things that makes her so fascinating is she really has managed to build this brand that feels both aspirational and accessible.
Okay.
You know, she's obviously gorgeous, impeccable style.
Right.
But if you look closely, she's really mastered this art of mixing like high and low, you know, pairing a designer bag with the dress she got on sale.
Oh, that's clever.
And it makes it feel less intimidating and more achievable.
Right. It's like, oh, I could try that.
Exactly. And I think that speaks to a savviness that goes beyond just like having a good eye for fashion, but it's about knowing your audience and what resonates with them.
Okay.
And remember, she's not just popular online, but she's managed to snag these collaborations with major Cameroonian brands.
I was going to say.
Chopetiamo, Masera Kaseri at Fine, like that tells you she's tapped into something unique.
Totally.
Yeah.
Like she's figured out the secret sauce of influencer marketing, and the brands are noticing.
Totally.
And speaking of secrets, I don't know if this is a secret or not, but I was surprised to find out that she's a university graduate.
Interesting.
That's not your typical, I feel like, influencer background these days.
Right.
Does that even matter? Like, do you think that plays into it at all?
You know, I think it's subtle, but I do think it plays a role because this is a space where trust is currency.
Right.
You're asking people to try products, follow trends, you know, kind of buy into a lifestyle you're presenting.
Yeah.
So even subconsciously, having that educational background adds a layer of credibility.
So it's like she's not just blindly following trends, she understands them. You know,
Exactly.
on another level, maybe.
Exactly. It positions her as an expert, not just someone who is hawking the latest lipstick.
Oh, that's interesting.
And I think that distinction can make all the difference when you are trying to build a loyal following.
Yeah, like she's thought about it.
Yeah.
She's analyzed it.
Exactly.
Okay, so she's got the brains, she's got the beauty.
Yes.
Let's talk about the content itself.
Yeah.
Because, wow, scrolling through her feed is like entering a perfectly curated lifestyle magazine. I mean, makeup tutorials, fashion finds, travel diaries,
Yeah.
little snippets of her personal life. It's really well-rounded.
And I think that's incredibly smart because, you know, even within a niche audience like beauty and fashion, people have diverse interests.
Oh, totally.
One day they might be looking for a new eyeshadow palette, and the next they're, you know, craving travel inspiration.
Yeah.
So she gives you a little taste of everything, and I think that keeps her content fresh and her audience engaged.
It's smart. It's really smart. Okay. But I'm curious. We see that variety, but even with all that variety, some of her posts just explode, you know?
Yeah.
What is it about certain content that just resonates more?
Well, I think it's a couple of things. I mean, one, I think people are drawn to transformation. Those before and after makeup videos where she takes you through each step, that's captivating.
Oh, for sure.
And then there's the value add content, like, you know, those detailed skincare routines, honest product reviews.
Right.
People crave practical advice, especially from someone that they trust.
And let's be real, everyone loves a good before and after.
Exactly. Who doesn't? Right.
It makes you want to try those techniques.
Totally.
But then there's another element to it, and I think this is where she really shines.
Yeah.
Is this like aspirational yet attainable thing.
Yes.
Especially in her fashion posts.
Totally.
You know, she's effortlessly chic,
Right.
but it never feels out of reach. You know,
Yes.
she'll talk about scoring a great deal or repurposing an old outfit, and suddenly it's like, oh, I could do that too.
Yes, exactly.
It makes it relatable, not intimidating.
Totally. And I think it all plays into that idea of who she is as a person, which is approachable and kind of like, we could be friends, you know?
Right, exactly, down to earth.
Exactly.
And speaking of, like, fun, because she makes it fun, let's talk about her take on fashion.
Okay.
You know, the articles describe it as effortless and elegant, which I totally see, but she also rocks streetwear.
Yeah, she does it all.
So she can do both. Like, how does she do that? And it's not just like she can rock a handbag. It's like how she styles it.
Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned mixing the high-end and affordable.
Yes.
But is there, like, a method to her magic?
There really is. And what I think is interesting is she often highlights specific brands that she loves that are affordable.
Okay.
So it's not just like, oh, here's, one thing that's achievable. She's actually giving you those tools to then go and find similar pieces.
Oh, that's cool.
Exactly. And then also those little styling tricks, like adding a statement belt or cuffing your jeans to give it a little bit more of a polished vibe.
It's like she's giving us those insider tips you pay a stylist for.
Exactly.
But she's giving them to us for free.
Exactly. And I think that all plays into that, again, aspirational yet attainable.
Right.
But what I find really impressive with her fashion is that she incorporates trends, but she never becomes a fashion victim.
Okay. Because, I love a good trend, but I'm also the queen of fashion disasters.
Right.
So how does she pull that off?
Well, it's about balance.
Okay.
It's not going all in on one thing.
Okay.
So, a good example is the Y2K trend. That's huge right now.
Huge.
So, she'll rock the crop top and the baggy jeans.
Yeah.
But she'll pair it with like maybe a blazer or jewelry that has more of a timeless feel.
Oh.
So it still feels very her, but she's incorporating that trend in a way that's not costumey.
It's not like she's trying to be someone she's not.
Exactly. And I think that's something that really resonates with her audience.
Yeah, it's smart.
Because they're like, okay, she's not just following the crowd, she's putting her own spin on it.
Exactly. She owns it,
Yes.
Okay, let's move on to beauty. Because, wow, another area where she shines.
Yes.
And what I love about her content in this realm is that it feels real. It's not all, perfectly filtered selfies and just like glowing reviews.
Yeah.
Like there's some honesty there.
Yes, and I think that's what sets her apart in this sea of sponsored content.
Okay. Yeah.
Like she has mentioned in articles and stuff that she tries products for weeks, sometimes months, before even mentioning them.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, and I think that even then, she's not afraid to discuss the downsides.
See, and that's huge because I feel like so many influencers are just like, perfect product, buy it now,
Exactly, and she's showing you like the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Right.
And I think that makes her so much more relatable.
Why do you think she does that? Because it feels like a risk,
I think it boils down to respect for her audience. She knows they're smart. They can spot a disingenuous endorsement from a mile away.
Yeah, they know.
So by being transparent, even about a product's flaws, I think it builds that trust and positions her as a reliable source of information.
Yeah, it's like she's saying, look, I'm trying these things out so you don't have to. And if I don't love it, I'm going to tell you straight up.
Exactly.
That's a friend. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
All right, now, we can't forget about her travel content, first of all. Stunning photos.
Yes, the photos are always breathtaking.
But again, you could tell she's not just jet-setting around for the Kiagram. Like, there's more to it.
Absolutely. And I think what really struck me about her travel content was the level of detail that she provides.
Okay.
It's not just, oh, here I am posing in front of this landmark.
Right, right.
She gives tips, like on finding affordable flights, navigating local transportation.
Oh, wow.
Even little cultural insights that you wouldn't get from just, reading a guidebook.
It's like she's your personal travel buddy.
Yeah.
Guiding you through these experiences.
And she does it all with that effortless style.
Of course.
Like she even makes packing look chic.
Okay, stop. Because I need that.
Remember that Instagram story where she showed her suitcase?
No.
And it was like perfectly organized with these little pouches.
Okay, genius. I need that in my life, like that level of organization.
Right.
Amazing. Okay, so we've talked about a lot of what makes her a successful influencer.
Yeah.
But for someone who's maybe, listening and thinking like, man, I want to do that, what are the takeaways?
That's a great question.
Like, what can we all learn from her approach?
Well, I think one of the big things is, she clearly understands her brand.
Okay.
She knows her strengths. She knows her audience. She knows what makes her unique.
Right.
And she's not trying to be everything to everyone.
Oh, that's good.
She's really kind of carved out her own niche and she owns it.
And she does it all while staying true to herself.
Exactly.
Like, it's never forced.
Yes.
Or like fake. You can just tell she loves what she's doing.
And that authenticity is so crucial.
Totally.
Because that's something you can't fake. People can sense when you're being genuine, and they respond to that.
So it's not just about, like, looking good and posting pretty pictures.
Right.
You have to, like, have substance, a point of view, and a real desire to, like, connect with those people.
Yes, absolutely. And that's something that I think Betty excels at, is she's really built this community, not just a following.
Okay.
Like, she responds to comments, she does those really thoughtful giveaways, she takes the time to, acknowledge her followers.
It's like those little things.
It's the little things that make a big difference.
They really do.
It shows that you care. It's like she's saying, I see you, I appreciate you being here.
Yeah, exactly. And people, I think, crave that.
They do.
Especially in the online space.
Totally.
Remembering back to, like, her educational background, do you think that plays into it at all?
It's an interesting question, and I think on the one hand, you don't need a degree to be a successful influencer. It's a whole different skill set. It's creativity, it's business acumen, it's understanding this world of social media marketing.
It's like being your own CEO, content creator, and PR team all in one.
Yes, exactly. But I do think that having that analytical background gives her an edge in terms of strategy and critical thinking.
Yeah.
She's able to look at trends, analyze data, kind of understand that bigger picture in a way that maybe someone without that background might not.
So it's not just what she knows.
Right.
It's how she thinks.
Exactly. And I think that ability to think critically, to adapt and evolve is so crucial in a landscape that's as fast-paced as social media.
Yeah, because what works today is old news tomorrow.
Exactly.
Got to stay ahead of the curve.
Yes.
Well, speaking of curves, her journey is fascinating.
It is.
And we've uncovered so much about Betty already, but there's still more to explore.
Oh, wait.
So hold tight, because we will be back in a flash to wrap up our deep dive into the world of Betty Christy. And we are back for the thrilling conclusion of our Betty Christy deep dive.
The final word?
It's easy to get, caught up in all the makeup and fashion.
Right.
But there's a bigger picture here.
Definitely.
Because she's not just a successful influencer.
Yeah.
She's a successful Cameroonian woman making waves on this global stage. And I think that's really significant.
It's hugely significant. I mean, we talk about social media connecting the world.
Right.
But, there's still so many barriers and biases, in media and marketing.
For sure.
So the fact that she's been able to build this engaged international following, I think it challenges those old narratives.
It's really cool. It's like she's saying, you don't have to, fit in the box to be successful. You can be yourself, achieve your culture, and still connect with people, worldwide.
Absolutely. And I think that's incredibly inspiring, especially for aspiring influencers.
Totally.
From underrepresented backgrounds,
Yeah.
She's proof that authenticity resonates no matter where you're from.
It's pretty cool.
It is.
It's inspiring.
Yeah.
So, okay, if you had to sum up the Betty Christy brand in one word.
Oh, wow. One word.
What would it be?
It's tough. I think I'd have to go with empowering.
Oh, okay. I like that.
She empowers her followers to embrace their own style, to try new things, to believe that they can achieve their goals.
I love that. Empowering. That's a good one.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good takeaway for all of us out there listening, in this world that is so obsessed with perfection.
Right.
Betty really reminds us that, just being yourself is the most powerful thing you can be.
Absolutely.
So go out there, do your thing, and find your own unique way to shine.
Yes.
This has been The Deep Dive. Until next time, keep exploring.